In this video, I'm going to be talking all about health and safety when airbrushing. Let's get into it right now. So once you've added paint to your airbrush, you pull back on that trigger and you can see that overspray coming out. Those fine particles of paint are what you're going to be breathing in if you're not wearing some sort of protection. So I have this extraction fan, which is a regular bathroom fan, and that's tubed out of the studio up into a whirlybird, which then extracts my overspray. So if you're in a confined area, doing this is definitely going to help. And there's plenty of different extraction units that are available and mini spray booths that work really well to suck out the overspray from your working area. Now, as you're aware, I use lots of Trident paints for airbrushing. These are multi-surface technology, so you can paint them on all sorts of substrates, even fabric. And I also like to use Creos illustration colors for more of my photorealism work. This paint's great for synthetic paper and can be easily manipulated with eraser pencils and blades. Now, both of these paints are water-based. You can see on the label it says non-toxic. Doesn't have that written on the Creos product. That said, even if it does say non-toxic, breathing anything foreign into your body is not a good idea. So for that reason, at a bare minimum, I'd recommend that you wear a dust mask like this to help prevent you sucking in that overspray. So you can also wear a mask like this, same sort of mask that we've all been wearing for quite some time now and gotten used to. This is still going to help to protect breathing in that overspray, and it's better than nothing, even though it doesn't run a filter or anything like that. Okay, let's say you're not using water-based paints, even though water-based paints are a fantastic option, and a lot of the companies use automotive grade pigments. They stand up under UV, no problem with fading, and they can be clear coated for when using on automotive applications, but you would still prefer using automotive paints like this. So we've got our House of Color paint, Candy as an example, some silver metal flake DNA aerosol, and some pre-mixed DNA fuchsia candy. All of these are extremely toxic and should be treated that way. Therefore, whenever using this style of paint, I recommend you get yourself some decent gloves. Don't just get the ones from the grocery store, like a cooking glove. They're not going to protect you. You want to go to an automotive paint shop and get some heavy duty nitrile gloves like I've shown you here, and make sure you wear them whenever you're airbrushing and or cleaning your equipment. A good quality mask is also very important, and especially the filters. So I like to use the Sunstrom mask, and I use the filters that relate to the paints that I'm using. You can see the filters that I'm using for the automotive color, and as you can see there, that's the last time I replaced them. So even though I don't use them as much, I generally try and replace every 6 months, so they'll be due to be swapped over very soon. If you're more frequent with your painting, then you want to be replacing those filters a lot more regularly. You can also remove the front on these and just swap over the pre-filters. You'll see the overspray that's built up there, so these can be swapped out pretty much straight away. The other important thing with masks like this is you want to keep them in a container to protect the filters. So this is the one that comes with the Sunstrom mask. You don't necessarily need that. You can run any sort of airtight container that will work and help to keep your filters in good shape for a longer period of time. So if you're wanting to 2-pack clear your artwork like this and get a nice glossy finish using clear like this, then you need to be really, really careful. And personally, I outsource all of my clear coating. I only do a very minimal amount, and if I do, I'll do that in a spray booth. And I would urge you to outsource your clear coating to a professional spray painter who knows exactly what they're doing and also is spraying in a controlled environment, meaning a spray booth. So these are made up of isocyanates as well as lots of other chemical nasties. And keep in mind too that when spraying these sorts of clears, those full respirators are really essential, because clear coat can be absorbed through your eyes and your skin. So just covering yourself totally and protecting yourself is the #1 priority. So I think as a summary, if you're using an airbrush to spray the non-toxic water-based paints, then wearing a basic dust mask or any sort of face covering is going to definitely help to stop you breathing in the overspray. If you're going to be using the more aggressive paints like the urethane base coats, then a full-fledged respirator like something like the Sunstrom will work perfectly fine. Also wear gloves, especially when you're cleaning out all your gear using gun wash or any sort of reducer for mixing. For the 2-pack variety, so when you're doing your clear coats and even some of the 2-pack primers, then I would recommend you outsource that. So don't try and mess with that at home. It's really toxic stuff and you don't want to be spraying that in your house. Even if you do have an extraction, the curing process still emits toxic fumes, so you want to keep all that in mind. All in all, my best advice is just play it as safe as possible. You'll probably notice that in my videos I don't tend to wear a dust mask, and I know that's not a very good representation. However, I am filming and talking while I'm painting. So you can see here I've got this little microphone hooked up. So that's why I don't have it on, just to keep that audio nice and clear. It's not ideal, but I do also run the fan regularly, which you don't get to hear on the videos because I'll edit those bits out just to keep the studio free from overspray. If I'm spraying a larger area, that's when I will put on a respirator. For you at home, I highly recommend, if you are going to be airbrushing a lot, then definitely follow the instructions that I've given you in this video. And just keep in mind, this is all just my opinion. It's not professional health advice. So I'm only telling you what I've done over the years and what I've learnt from it. So you can take that information and apply it to your airbrushing. But I still highly recommend, because every brand of paint is different, to reach out to the manufacturer of the paint and find out exactly what's in that paint and how you can better protect yourself before using it. So I hope that's helped to answer your health and safety questions in regards to airbrushing. If you want to learn more, check out some of the other videos and playlists that I've got listed here. And until next time, go grab your airbrush, do some amazing artwork yourself, and I'll see you again very, very soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.